wasn't bad. It was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah. So that's my least and I had no DNFs this month, Colette.
Me either.
Good job. Are you
Me
sure?
either.
Get it. This is the first month.
I know, because I DNF a book quick. Welcome and welcome back to Better Comma Podcast. We are here with Miss Elizabeth and myself, and we are going over our books that we read for the month of May. And let's get into it.
Yes.
All right. Do you have your stats, Elizabeth?
I actually do.
All right, Liz. Go ahead. Start with your stats, girl.
All right. Let's see here. So for May 2024, I read 9 books equaling, I know, it's the Kindle. No, and there were short books because one of the series that I read, it's split. The books are small. They're not. So the 9 books equal 2,556 pages. How about you?
So I read
24 books.
Oh. I read 12 books. That's not right.
Well, you reread a book twice. Yep, I put that out there. You look so pretty.
Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, yeah.
Colette's going against an app, y'all.
I had to double check and make sure. But yeah, I read 12 books. I'm currently in the middle of my 13th book. I'm sure I'm going to finish it by the end of the month, but this is not calculated in these stats of the books that I've actually read.
I'm with her. I'm currently reading a book I think I'll finish, but maybe not.
So, 12 books, and that is a total of 5,283 pages. And the majority of my books this month were emotional.
My biggest percentage was emotional.
My second biggest one was dark.
Mine was tense.
And then my third biggest pie chart, was tense.
Mine was dark. So we were both very emotional. I was tense. You were dark.
What is happening? Also, you guys, before we get into our books, I think I might have actually found a dark romance that I enjoyed, but we'll get into that.
God was like, you are not giving up, Colette. I will find you one that you like.
Yeah, pretty much. And my average rating for this month was 3.79.
Mine was my 4.13. Yeah. All of mine were fiction. God, we were really emotional this month.
Yeah.
And now we could get into
the books.
Yeah.
Would you like to start, Liz?
Okay. So, my one and only physical book this month was Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. I really enjoyed it. I really, really liked it. So yeah, that was my only physical book. All of the other ones were digital. I would say this month, it's a tough month for a least favorite for me.
Okay, so which one was your favorite then?
I listened to the audiobook, The Duke and I.
Oh, that was a good book though.
Yes. They did really well with the book and the show. They did really well.
Are you going to finish the series?
Yes, but I kind of took a
hiatus
from it because some other books became available for free on Audible. Okay. A Touch of Darkness. Most of the books in the series are available now for free. So
when you read it, because I've read all 8, my personal favorite. Did you watch season 3 yet? Of Bridgerton?
Okay, so season 1 was Daphne
and Simon. Yep.
Season 2 was Anthony.
Anthony, child, don't talk like them. They don't even.
That's how they say it in the book, Colette. And I'm going off of Audible. Anthony.
TH is a sound. We learned this in elementary. Anthony and Kate.
Anthony. And then after Anthony is the new one that just came out.
Mm-hmm. Have you started?
I have not watched any of it. We're waiting for the second part to come out, and then we're binging it, me and the girls.
Well, my favorite story out of all 8 books, Daphne and Simon have a special place in my heart because obviously they were the first book. But my absolute favorite was Francesca's story. So I can't wait for you to get there.
Okay. So yeah, that I would have to say that's my favorite. Oh, and I think it's because I already have a connection with the book. Like I really enjoyed the series, and the book was written really well, and the narrator did a great job because the narrator. Oh, I forgot to log another book that I read.
You read 10 books?
Actually, I have a least favorite. Yes, I forgot to put this one in. Because it was an audiobook as well. And I don't know how I forgot because the narrator just, it was hard. Like I couldn't, with her, I just couldn't. But it was The Locked Door by Frida McFadden. It was good. Or no, book? John Mars. I'm so sorry. By John Mars.
Oh, I'm about to say you like Frida McFadden books.
Yes. No, I liked it. It was just out of everything I read, it was my least favorite. It wasn't bad. It was good. I enjoyed it. It just... Yeah, so that's my least and I had no DNFs this month, Colette.
Me either.
Good job. Are you
sure? Me either.
Get it. This is the first month.
I know, because I DNF a book quick.
I think that deserves a dance. Like,
okay. All shoulders. That's it. That's how you're gonna get out of me.
I don't even know what I was doing. I was just moving. There was no beat. There was no nothing. It was just me moving. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And then my current read that hopefully I finish by the end of the month is Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler. Debbie Weaver. No, never mind.
Okay. All right. So tell me about your books, Liz.
The what?
Tell me about all your rest of your books.
Okay, so then it was 4 of them from the Mindfuck series. Basically, serial killer falls in love with an FBI profiler. And she's a revenge serial killer. So she's going out after this whole town that basically watched her and her brother get raped, tortured, and almost murdered. Like her brother was castrated right there in the street. So she goes after everybody involved. And before that happened, the only reason they were attacked like that is because their father was convicted of being a serial killer, wrongly convicted. And then the sheriff sent his son after, like, it's a really religious town. And they basically looked at the dad as like evil because of other that's how they portrayed him to the town. Right. So the town would turn against him and the family or whatever. So she goes on this rampage, killing anyone that was involved in what happened to her father. Cause her father was not only wrongly committed, but he was also tortured while he was in jail by the sheriff and the deputies. And the FBI profiler that was on the original serial killer case years before was involved in it. They made this man swallow nails. And then they like beat him and raped him with a baton. they assaulted him.
Yeah.
It was bad. So she was like, her brother, even though that happened to him, he was able to drive them outside of the county to a hospital outside of the county for them to save his sister, because the sheriff who owned the whole county, I'm talking about, he owned the TV networks. So nothing was ever put on TV unless he approved it. Like, he owned everything. He had a monopoly on the whole town and anything the town needed, basically. So she went, and it was really good. And she fell in love with the profiler. It was good. It was good. Really good. I think you would enjoy it.
That was 4 books, you said?
It's a total of 5, but I read the first book in March, and then we did the no Kindle April, so I couldn't read, and I finished it. And then, so there's that one. Hooked was one of the books, so that's what, 4. Hooked, The Lie one, Bridgerton. Yeah. Good month. I feel like I'm missing a book.
That's 6 books.
So we have 4. And then this one, that's 5.
And Hooked makes 6.
6. And then Bridgerton is 7.
Oh, the Locked Door is 8.
Who?
The Locked Door. That was the one you least liked.
Yeah.
And there's something else.
And my Goodreads is on my phone. Listen for the Lie. Listen for the Lie is 1. The Mindfuck series is 4. That's 5. Bridgerton is 6. Hooked is 7. The Locked Door is 8.
And Lessons from a Hidden Treasure.
9. So I guess I did log. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I had a good month.
All right.
Your turn.
So for me, I read 12 books, like I said. So I'm currently working on The Crimson Moth. Yeah.
Which is also
on Kindle
known as the Witch.
Heartless Hunter.
The Heartless Hunter, the Witch Hunter.
It's also on Kindle Unlimited. If you don't want to purchase a book and you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get it there. So I read 30, which was like the period to the Sun series, with my baby Josiah. I loved it. I loved it. Really, she'll be.
Yep, let them know.
So they're having a Black Romance Festival next year in Atlanta that Liz and I will be attending, and Rayleigh, who is the author of the Sun series, will be there. I'm so excited.
She really is. She called me.
I did. I was like, Elizabeth. Yeah. So she'll be there. So I read that. This is Dre's story. Great book. He basically gets out of prison off of a reform that they did for like juveniles that committed murder, because that's what he was in prison for.
Okay.
And just basically follows him coming out. And it goes from there. And of course, because Josiah is his best friend, he's in the book a lot.
So you get a double whammy.
Yes! With my book. And then the next book I read, well, we both read it, but the next book was Lessons from a Hidden Treasure.
Loved it.
Which that video will be out soon. I just need to edit.
That should be my top book for the month, because I think that's my only.
Really?
I think that's the book I rated the highest this month.
I don't know when that video is coming out. It's either coming out before this video or after. Anyways, the point is a video is coming out.
We loved it.
Yeah, this was a 5-star read for me. It is the 4th book in a series. You can tell when you start the book that there's some other stuff that you don't know, but it doesn't take away from the story.
Correct.
So, really good. And Liz, no, I don't even like my little light-skinned dudes, but Pierre, he made the book bay list.
Yeah, I thought about it. I really liked his growth in that book.
Yes. And then I read Hooked, which we both read. You had already saw that video. And I read Glint, which is the second book from the Guild series.
And that's the Plated Prisoners, right? Is that what that's called? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And then I read Blood at the Root, which was another 5-star read.
And that's the Harry Potter meets...
Harry Potter attends What If He Was Black and he attended the HBCU?
So that's like if Harry Potter went to FAMU?
Yes. Exactly that. Yes. It was great. I loved it. My only gripe is he was 17 going into college, which is fine because I was 17 when I went to college. I just don't want to read about kids in college. It's just me. Even if he was 18, at least you're legal. So when you get into stuff, it's like, well, he's 18, so, you know?
That's crazy how our mind works like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Like, it's like, I know that you're
Me too.
At the same time, I'm an adult. No.
That's like when you were like, oh, Binding 13. I'm like, I don't know that I could even get as far. I know that you got to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore.
Like, I don't want to read about y'all hunching. You are a child. Ugh. Anyways, I digress. Next was The Right Move by Liz Tomford. Who's that? They made it seem, I saw this hyped up over TikTok, BookTube, Bookstagram, everything. And next was The Dark Place by Olivia Wildenstein. Y'all know how I feel about Olivia Wildenstein. So, of course, I had to read it because she wrote it. It is a retelling of Sleeping Beauty.
Yes, that's what you told me. Mm-hmm.
I don't know Sleeping Beauty's story. So if it was a retelling, I didn't pick up on that. I just like the story. And then my next 3 books were the Soul Crush series. So it was Soul Crush, Soul Glitch. I'm sorry, let's try that again. Soul Crush, Soul Glitch, and then Soul Tie. Where it follows this couple. This was my dark romance that I found that I was telling you about. Like, it could be written so much better to make sense. It made sense. So he a hood dude. He came from trapping. You understand what I'm saying, right?
I do. We'll put the definition. No, we won't.
Trapping. Right. And his thing was, I don't want to say he was a henchman because he was higher ranked than a henchman, but he was the one that you called to handle bodies. So like the professional. Did you ever? Never mind. You probably didn't watch that movie. No, I did actually. I know. That movie was so good. I know. Anyways, go ahead. So he actually did the murders and then took care of the bodies afterward. Okay. Ooh. He enjoyed killing people. Look crazy. Okay. And then come to find out he has a mental disorder. Now, we're not saying that the mental disorder is the reason that he enjoys it. However, I will say the way that she wrote about his mental disorder made a lot of sense. So it was digestible for people that haven't endured it or been around people that have it. So it was explained like really well. Because I remember reading it and I was telling your daughter. Yes, like, this is the one you were talking about. Yeah. And I was like, so this is what Kanye was going through when Kanye was like spazzing or whatever. And I'm like, oh, this is how, when she explains it, I was like, that's what his mind was processing. And especially if he's feeling like, well, I feel better. I don't want to take the drugs, which was this guy's thing. He was like, because, in the hood, not even in the hood, Black people in general, we don't believe in mental disorders. And I don't want to put it on all of us, but we don't believe in it. Yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah. So for him, it was just like, you're crazy. You need to act better. Stop doing this, blah, blah, blah. But really, no one really addressed the fact that he had a disorder. He needed help. And when and like one of the parts in the book, he was like, he had said that he was beating his head against the wall because he was like, maybe if I beat my head against the wall, it'll start acting properly. Like he knew something was wrong, but he couldn't fix it, and he didn't want to take the drugs because that made him feel like less than or less of a man. And it was really good. And he falls in love for the first time, and it was really good, really, really, really good. And then she ends up getting into some stuff, and then so it turns into, instead of her having to help him, he's not having to help her through her thing. And great series, fantastic series. The next book,
you didn't stop.
Huh?
You didn't stop when it came to that. Like you were on it, like going through them.
I literally read it like on the 18th, 19th, 20th, 3 books. I ate those books up.
Yeah.
And then I read The Long Shot. Anyways. And then I read Letters We Keep by Nisha Sharma. I like Nisha Sharma's book. She's the one that wrote Dating Dr. Dill.
I remember you talking about that.
Writing. Yeah, I like her writing. My least favorite book of the month. Would have to be a tie between
A Long Shot
and The Long Shot.
What was it?
Hooked and The Long Shot. Hooked because I expected more. I went into it expecting more, and I didn't get that. Not that it's a bad book. It's just I expected more.
Yeah, it did get a lot of hype.
Yeah. And then The Long Shot, because the way they marketed that book was supposed to be a romance. No. There's romance in the book. But no. It was a lot of trauma. And it's on page. It's not even like you're hearing about it, like you're reading it while it's happening. No. I couldn't. And it's crazy to me because she wrote Before I Let Go, and I'm just like, girl, what happened? What? Tell me now. You need to talk about it. Yeah. So yeah, those were my books for this month. Super good month because back in the Kindle, now I can read.
The Kindle does. I think it's just, I don't know what it is. For me, when I go and lay down with the baby, well, she's not a baby anymore, but when I go lay down with Cammy, it's easy for me to have the Kindle instead of my book with a book light. Because the Kindle has the dark mode. So,
yes.
And when I go to the water, when I go to the pool, when I, get in the pool or go to the river, beach, whatever, I don't have to worry about ruining a book. It's water resistant. Yeah. The battery lasts forever.
Love it.
And you link your Kindle to your Goodreads, so it automatically updates it. There's just so many, but my first love will always be physical books. Like, I love the way they smell. I love seeing my bookmark get further into the book. Yeah. But Kindle has a lot of pros.
Yes, totally. Yeah. So those are the books for the month. If I have to recommend any book, I would recommend Lessons from a Hidden Treasure.
Not to Alana.
Alana, girl, I need you to push through.
I told her.
She's like, I can't,
because I just see myself as the character. And what kind of name is Treasure? I was like,
yeah. And I was saying to Liz, I was like, I really didn't care for her name until I read the book, and I was like, I like her as a person, so that made me like the name.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you.
He really didn't call her Treasure so much. He called her by the nickname he gave her. So.
And she didn't even get that far because she's like accessory, and I'm like, girl, he doesn't call her that after that. Keep reading. Yeah. And she's like, I just can't. She's like, find me a book. I was just like, okay, I'll get with Colette. I'll get with my hood novel expert. Hold on.
Well, then if you want the hood novel, go ahead and do the Soul Crush and Soul Tie. And it's right up your alley. It's right up her alley too, because she's doing the
criteria.
Yeah. Like, it's explained really well. I thought that was a really good series. Really, really good series. But I reread Lessons from a Hidden Treasure like 3-4 times this month. I loved it. I don't feel bad about it at all.
You shouldn't.
All right, y'all. So that's the end of this video. Have you read any of these books? Have you read, or are you going to read any of these books? And what was your top book of the month? Let us know.
Also, would you be interested in going into the romance festival, the Black Romance Festival in Atlanta next May? Let us know.
Yeah, there's more to come on that, you guys. We have a few different ideas and videos we have. So we'll let you know.
Yes.
As always, you guys like, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
That's it. We appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, always. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.